I'm Warren Mendes here in my home kitchen, and today I'm going back to one of my childhood favorites, some rice pudding, except I'm putting a bit of a twist on it and making a salted caramel base. Very easy, very simple. I know we are gonna make a caramel, but I promise you I'll step you along the way. First things first, we're gonna start with that caramel and then we can get baking. So to start off that caramel, I've got a fry pan here, which I'm also gonna use to bake the rice pudding in the oven. If you don't have a fry pan, which can go in the oven as well, just use a regular fry pan and you can decant everything into a baking dish. So first of all, just gonna go in with caster sugar into the cold pan. Now just turn on the heat to medium. Spread all that sugar around so it's even around the pan. And what we're looking for is around the edges, it's gonna start to go all kind of dark golden and caramelized. Don't panic, don't walk away from the pan, but you're just gonna start swirling around the mixture. And then all of kind of the caramel is gonna move into each other and we'll end off with a beautiful caramel. So stay here, don't walk away. This is the time you need to be at the stove. So by keeping this on kind of medium to low heat, you'll see that as the caramel starts to form around the edges, you have plenty of time to shake it around and just moderate that heat. And then we can go in with the cream to stop the cooking. So you'll notice lots of bubbles, there's a lot of smoking happening. And so just keep on twirling that caramel around. As soon as we hit that point, nice and dark, off with the heat, and then be careful. You can add a little bit of that cream, but stand back as it will bubble. So once that's calmed down, just the rest of your cream, and then I'm using an equal amount of milk, and then some ARBORIO rice. So I've used ARBORIO rice here, or any other rice you would use for risotto is perfect, because we're gonna get a really nice big puff in each of the grains of rice. And obviously being a salted caramel rice pudding, I'm gonna start with a teaspoon and a touch of salt, and then we can add some more on the top. Now all we're going to do is get this back over a light simmer, and we'll cook this for about 10 minutes before we put it into the oven. And the reason I'm doing that is to kind of start cooking the rice, and then it's going to prevent it from burning just on the bottom and caking. So cook this for about 10 minutes and then we'll go into the oven. So we've had 10 minutes and you can see the grains are all still separate and they're starting to cook, so they're not caking on the bottom. Now I'm just going to turn off the heat, and then you could either use a whole vanilla bean and scrape the seeds, or just some vanilla bean paste, and then also 4 egg yolks. So make sure you save those egg whites and you can use them for something else, and then just gradually stir in 4 egg yolks. And already this has got such a deep, rich color. And then we can go into the oven, which I've got at 150 fan forced, and we're going to cook this for 20 minutes, give it a stir, and then another 20 minutes. Okay, so we're almost there. I've had 20 minutes. I'm just gonna give this a bit of a stir. So once you've got rid of any clumps of rice, just gonna scatter over a little bit more sugar, just for the final 20 minutes of baking, so we get a bit of a crust on the top. Then another 15-20 minutes, and we'll be good to go. Oh, that looks pretty amazing. Room smells of caramel. I'm ready to dive in. Resist temptation, let that settle for a few minutes, and then you can have a piping hot bowl of salted caramel rice pudding. So moment of truth, get a decent amount. And you can see all that rice is baked perfectly, but it's still kind of loose, like a risotto almost. Portion of that. And I'm just gonna serve it with a little bit of cream and some pecans or whatever nuts you have. And because it is salted caramel, just a few flakes of salt. Look at that. So the proof, as they say, is in the rice pudding. So that's the rice pudding dance. Intensely rich with that salted caramel. You can see just by that color, flecks of salt in there kind of give it a bit of a break. That is a bowl of pure, pure comfort. So if you'd like this recipe, head to delicious.com.au.